Welcome to Tech This Way.
Anyway, thanks for coming to
No
Tech This
problem, no
Way.
problem.
I've actually ordered a few times
Oh, okay, nice.
from PichaEats.
Okay.
I think one was like a whole set of kebabs and all that. Where would that be? Like
Kebabs,
more Middle Eastern food, a little bit more.
Mostly Middle Eastern lah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, mostly it's anyway, right?
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit more about yourself, right?
Mm.
How did it start? I know you can go as far back as you want,
Mm.
with PichaEats. So what's the story?
Can. So I was a musician before doing being a social entrepreneur, and I studied in a university 4 years degree, and that's where I met my two other co-founders, Suzanne and Swee. So
Okay.
both of them are psychology undergrad and accounts and finance undergrad. So
Where was this?
In UCSI University. So we were volunteering in a refugee learning center 7 years ago, and then we realized that a lot of kids were dropping out of education, and we wanted to do something to make sure that they get back into education. So we ran like 4 fundraising concerts, which was very tiring and very it was very effort draining, and you don't really raise a lot out of it.
This was when you were at university?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we thought, it's time that we try and find something sustainable. So we attended the conference hosted by MAGIC, the Malaysia Global and Innovative Creativity Center. And then we saw how other social entrepreneurs were using business models to create social impact. And we thought, maybe we can do the same. And so we went back, we reassessed, we saw the families that can cook, and we thought, why not we sell food homemade by refugees with authentic recipe from wherever they come from to Malaysians. So we started our first project. We call it like a project at that time, selling to our friends in the university. At that time, we were called Hands of Hope Kitchen, and then we changed to the Picha Project. And then just last year, we rebranded to PichaEats. So we sold to our friends at that time, and then we realized that it could be something viable to be heading on. And so we started doing more, and then we started getting into an accelerator program. That's where we got more connections and networks to be selling to corporates and companies. And that's where we started doing improving our packaging, did catering, and also expanded to other products as well. And then today we have 12 active kitchens with us, and we've partnered with around 25 chefs from different countries where they cook at their own homes, and then we deal with all the logistics and operations and even packaging to customers. So that's how we run.
Okay. So let's go back a little bit into history when you were in university, right? So you were doing a music degree of some sort when you say you're a musician?
Yep.
Okay. And then so what drove you to help out? So at that time, right? So so you were with a bunch of other students, and then how did that start? Tell me about your first concert that you organized. So how did that come about?
But it was just me going into the learning center to volunteer because 2 of my other co-founders were already doing something there, and I thought that it's a great way for me to practice what I've learned, especially teaching the kids music, and building a holistic experience for them where they build character and personality from music. And
so this is part of the university, this learning center?
No, it's not part of the university. It's just part of an activity that we do external.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I was teaching music, and
what were you teaching?
I was just teaching them choir.
Okay.
So just some music basics and how to sing and how to work together as a choir. And then we started organizing our first fundraising concert where half of the show was the kids performing as well, and then I got my friends together and we hosted our first concert, and then later on we did more second and third year. By the fourth year we were doing like a short skit, like 25 minutes of a musical to tell people where these kids come from and why they are here, why refugees are refugees today, and what are the challenges and hardships they face on a
Oh,
daily
so
basis.
even at that point, these were refugee
Yeah.
children, lah.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So where would you host these concerts that you were doing at that time?
Universities, other concert venues. The last one was in a small concert venue in I think it was Old Klang Road.
Okay.
Mm.
So this was essentially the three of you, lah.
Yes.
Okay, who organized this.
Yep.
Then you were saying, so whilst you were still there, you joined Magic? Or was it after?
I joined Magic in 2016.
Okay.
Yeah. So the concert started in 2014.
Right. So
Yeah.
you're doing it for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And then decided, okay, we can do more.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So then at Magic, how was that again? How was the
Magic-
inspiration to look at, how did that transition from the cooking concerts to, from the concerts to the cooking?
Well, like I mentioned just now, it was just, being inspired by other social entrepreneurs. And I thought, we thought, okay, let's try to run a business and what can we sell? And we saw that they can cook. And then we thought, okay, why not we sell food?
So these were the
Home
refugee
prepared.
kids, their parents.
Yeah, their parents. Yeah,
Okay.
correct.
So where are these refugees?
The one that we were working with was in Cheras.
Okay.
And but now it's like scattered everywhere.
And where are they from normally?
Well, in our population, 90% are from Myanmar, 10% are probably from like the Middle Eastern or North Africa, some Nepalese, Sri Lankans.
Okay.
But the one that are with us are mostly Middle Easterns.
So how did you approach that with them, this idea?
The first one was from Myanmar. So she was in the community, and we just told her the concept, and we tried to convince her to be part of it because ladies usually they take care of kids at home. They don't really have the concept of like getting into a work routine. So we had to convince her a bit, but after that, eventually she saw that she could do more and more. She was more confident, and you can see like the confidence instilled in her along the way lah. And then the rest, we started talking to United Nations. We told them we want to do this and give us a list of people that we can potentially work with. And from there, we called each of them. We tell them what we do. We tasted their food and we tried and tested out our partnerships. And then from there, word of mouth from successful chefs or families to other people, and then people start registering in. Now we put up a bit of technology, a bit of like, putting up a website, putting in like forms so that people could register easily, putting like the testimonials online so that people can access it easily.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how we recruit lah.
But from the beginning, at the start, I'm very interested to see how did you guys develop. Okay, so you've got your first chef. Then how did it go from there? In terms of orders, how did you go then get customers? How did all that?
Well, our first customers were from our university friends. We just convinced them to buy from us, get them to pay up first, and then we started making the orders. Later on,
So all this was manual lah. So you
all
go
manual,
around.
yeah,
Okay.
all manual. We use our beat up car, and then everything was on WhatsApp communications. We started a Facebook event, call it Giving Tuesday, and then every Tuesday people will put in their orders, and then we will send it to the university and we will start distributing. After that, when we got into Magic and we started approaching more corporates and companies, it was a lot of cold emails and cold calls. Magic actually arranged like some purchases with us as well. So those has instilled more confidence, and we started improving the product.
So how many of you at that time when it started?
Three
to
of
grow?
us.
Still the three of you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we started improving the product, and we started doing more catering, and that's where we got to know more of the corporates and companies. And when one corporate orders, the other corporate wants to order, so you slowly gain that trust and base.
So from the cooks themselves, how do they manage the logistics? Meaning, where do they, because they're refugees, right?
Yeah.
So how do they cook? How do they package these things? Where do
Yeah.
they get those containers, right?
So we are the one that arranges all the packaging, and then
Mhm.
we would deliver to all of their homes on a monthly basis. And then they would arrange their buying of the ingredients. They will go out and buy them.
So they have money to do that? Or
The
is it something-
the first few orders usually we loan it to them.
Okay.
After that, they usually when they have profits, they will save it
Mm.
and then they use it for their next order.
Mm.
So the places are quite near to where they stay that they can source ingredients for, and then we arrange all the logistics to deliver the prepared food to customers. Mm.
So then it grew from there. As you said, you started to have more and more
Yeah.
cooks lah.
Yeah.
Do you change cooks or is it always the same people?
Well, we have like people who have stayed on with us since 2016, 4
okay.
years. And then we do have people who dropped out, mainly because some of them don't see fit in cooking, or like some of them resettled to
Okay.
another country.
Mm.
But we have always been recruiting people more and more.
And you're saying at this point you have how many refugee
At this
cooks now?
point, we have 12 to 14 active kitchens.
Okay.
Means they are cooking. And then, but we have partnered since 2016, 25 chefs.
Okay.
Mm.
When you say chefs, as in refugee chefs as well, or
Yeah,
proper chefs?
all refugees.
Okay.
Mm.
So all of them are cooking from home.
Yes.
Okay. And how often do a typical order come in for these guys?
Well, we don't put in the MCO situation, but pre-MCO, 1 week, they could cook up to 5 days.
Meaning, okay, 5 days a week they will
Yeah,
have an order.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how large are the orders typically?
Because we sell as low as 5 packs all the way to one kitchen can cook up to 150 to 200 packs. So in average, they will get like 30 packs a
Okay.
day. Yeah.
So, sorry, when you say one kitchen can cook up to 150 to 200, what do you
Yeah.
mean by that?
Means
Is
like
there like a
they
centralized
can
kitchen?
no, their own home kitchen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right. So that's quite a big operation. Like,
Yeah, they
for
can
them.
manage.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's kind of maximum. Lah. Okay.
Mm.
So how do you bundle or how do you package all the food for this?
So
for the
usually,
chefs?
like the service comes from mini buffet deliveries to catering. So mini buffet deliveries, they usually have their own set. It's usually between 5 packs to 20 packs people would order. So that one is still manageable. For catering, we usually split up to a few kitchens. So let's example like 100 packs of catering service, we will split up to probably 2 to 3 kitchens, and then we will pick up from 2 to 3 kitchens.
Okay. What about the items that they cook themselves? Is that something that you tell them or they say, okay, I know how to cook?
Well,
ABC?
we will work it out together in the beginning phase. So the beginning phase, if they're really good cooks, we usually take on their menus, tweak it a bit, and then we sell. If they are not good cooks, then we would train them with our own set of menus or our own set of recipes. Then we would do market tests, and then we would try and make sure that they follow exactly.
Has there been any interesting challenges or stories as you go with working with them?
Well, every day there's always challenges. I think when we started, it was language barrier, and then we found translators. We work on Google Translate, and then some of them tried to learn English, and us also trying to learn their language a bit. And then second probably is cultural difference sometimes, like trying to understand why they act certain way, why they perform certain things.
What do you mean? Give me an example.
Well, like the people like in Afghanistan, they usually cook from on the floor, or like they prepare food on the floor.
Okay.
It's something that is common to them. But in our standard food practice, we can't prepare food on the floor.
Right.
So we have to convince them. We have to figure out
Go on
how
the
we can
table
work with
somewhere,
them. Yeah. So even though you get them tables, it might be a practice or a habit already. So what we did is we get them very low tables.
Okay.
That is like the minimum standard procedure of like food preparation.
Right.
So they will still sit on the floor, but they have like a higher table to
For where the food is actually on.
yeah. So you have to work things out, like you have to figure things out, but it's not possible.
Right. Then you were saying, so more recently, you started, so instead of using just Facebook and WhatsApp, then you kind of transition, right?
Yeah.
So how was that? what was the journey like?
For marketing purposes.
Yeah, for marketing, also for your own ordering
Yeah.
and all that.
So we do have like a website. We actually started utilizing other platforms first, third-party platforms to receive orders.
Who developed that for you?
Oddle, ODDLE.
Okay. So you
Yeah,
just registered on that.
that's a normal one. But after that, we started rebuilding our own website. Means we rebuilt our own e-commerce platform. So we got like a friend who is into tech, and then we told him what we need and things like this. But we're still working on a few things in terms of how to help people to order catering online smoothly and easily as well. So those are the things that we're working on website purposes. And then internal, we actually got a system based on a grant to work out with the chefs where we don't have to use WhatsApp to tell them orders anymore. So they receive orders based on emails. So those are the things that we're working on automation a bit.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. So on that's interesting, right? Because when people order, they will order it to you, right? Between the three of you. Then you need to distribute the orders and then consolidate and all that. So now you're saying they could order directly to...
No, so they order through us.
Okay.
We still have to approve the orders to the right kitchen.
Okay. So it still flows through you guys to coordinate.
But it's just lesser manual work. Yeah.
So, and in terms of logistics, in terms of location, I mean, so right now these refugees are all around Klang Valley area, right?
Yeah.
And so your deliveries are also around this area.
Yeah.
And what are any plans to expand further?
Well, during the MCO, we actually developed a different kind of product called the ready-to-eat meals. So the ready-to-eat meals is where you store them in your chiller for 4 days or more than 4 days. You store it in the freezer, and then you can just put it in the microwave 3 minutes. Then you can immediately eat it. So that is for people who are really looking for fast, don't have time to prepare food or don't even know how to prepare food, but have a healthy and balanced meal. So those are the things that we're working on. So we have like our internal chefs as well, and working with the chefs from the refugee community. And then we combine the menus or we combine the items and then we sell it as a whole. So those are the things that we are working on for the future.
So that's not up yet?
It's already up. So we've just launched it like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you should check it out. Let me check it out. So ready to eat. So as I go, so right now, so to find PichaEats, what do I do?
Just head on to www.PichaEats.com.
Okay. Why the name change?
From the Picha Project to PichaEats. So the Picha Project, when we call ourselves, Picha Project, people always thought like we were short term because it sounds like a project.
It's like, correct. It's temporary, right?
Yeah,
so
it sounds like temporary. Okay. But after 4 years or 3 years, we want to let people know we are here to stay. We are here to really rebuild lives and be the voice for refugees, and show you that refugees can actually contribute. They don't need to rely on your financial aid if you give them the right platform to be working on. So this is why we created Picha, to allow refugees to showcase their culinary skills or experience or a way to survive at least in this country before they transition to the next country. So we name it PichaEats so that it's easier for people to relate us to food, because we want to focus on food. Yeah. And then Picha is the name of our first cook's younger son.
I was going to ask.
Yeah.
What is Picha? Oh, okay.
So this is the name of our first cook's younger son because he was very kind and generous when we met him. So we thought we want something that represents that in our company.
So this was the refugee from Myanmar?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So then we have the so if I go to the website now, let me go to your meals. Let's see. Meet our chefs, our improv. How do I get to the makan?
I think you can browse menu.
Order now. So 3 meals, ready to eat, 6 meals.
Yep.
So again, these are a mix from various different kitchens.
Yes. So you kind of taste different kitchens in one whole stack.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you still do the... okay, so the buffets are still there.
Yep.
As well. I think we had one of those buffets, if I can remember correctly.
Buffets are quite popular during season. Yeah.
So before I forget, there was 2 questions I wanted to ask. One is from a Malaysian appetite standpoint, right? So there's Myanmarese food, there's a lot of
different
Middle
culture,
Eastern, right? So which ones are more popular for Malaysians generally?
So it depends on if the Malaysians are more adventurous or safe kind of taste bud. For the safe ones, we usually recommend them the Afghan cuisine because they're very close to our palates.
Okay.
The ones who are much more adventurous, we will go for more of the Palestinian and Syrian cuisine. But at the same time, we know that at catering, sometimes you want to feed everyone. So we try to balance both sides. We have a bit of Malaysian and then we mixed it with a bit of Middle Eastern.
So for the Malaysian one, who cooks those dishes?
Sometimes internal chefs or sometimes we teach them certain dishes.
So who are these internal chefs that you're saying?
We do hire like chefs internally so that they develop new menus and we can see how we can train the chefs from the refugee community to be better cooks themselves.
Okay. So how big is the team now?
Right now we're at 12 full-timers.
Okay. Oh, that's fantastic. So it's grown. Are you funded by anybody or this is all self-sustaining?
All self-sustaining.
Oh,
yeah.
fabulous.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Okay.
And then in terms of, so there's two things I wanted to ask you. One was the palette. Oh, the other one was MCO. So how did that impact you guys, man?
Of course, catering zero during the whole MCO, but we try to push more of the mini buffet deliveries because people want to order it for their household. So we brought down the minimum 10 packs per package to minimum 5 packs. So it's smaller for people to order. And then we developed the ready-to-eat meals so that more people can work from home, can just put it in the microwave, or like any companies who are looking to store food for their employees because they don't want them to go out. They can use this as well. So during MC also, we doubled our content online, social media, a lot of content throughout our 4 platforms that we're on. And then
what other platforms you're on?
We are on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and TikTok. Yep.
Okay. Oh, TikTok too.
Yeah, TikTok. You have to
too,
follow the trend.
Yeah.
the trend. So those are the things. We've also reactivated a fund called the Zaza Movement. So what it does is people put in the money and then we enable refugees to cook and then we send them to frontliners or people in need. So we
sorry, how does that work?
So we distributed around 24,000 meals to frontliners and people who lost their jobs, and all this food are being home prepared by refugees.
Okay. So it's the public who will sponsor
Correct.
the food for them,
either public or corporates.
Okay, or corporates. Is that still ongoing or that was like a one-off?
It's actually ongoing throughout. It's just that during this MCO it's more prominent. But actually we created this movement out of our late chef. So our late chef who passed away in 2017, he was a Syrian chef, very kind, very generous. That's why before he passed away, he mentioned he wanted to cook chicken mandi for people in need around the masjid area during Ramadan month, and he couldn't do it. So we created a fund to commemorate him and fulfill his wish.
I see. So now that is an ongoing thing, except for the fact that now you cannot distribute the food.
Yeah,
to the mosque and all
it's
that.
been ongoing since 2017.
I see. So with the MCO, then suddenly it's kind of forced you to have a new model. I feel like right now is the ready to eat.
Yes.
Kind of
Correct. Yeah.
How do you see that being sustained in your business compared to when the catering business comes back again?
I can't. We just only launched like 2 weeks ago, and we're really looking forward to people who are, like I said, working from home, working in the company, and the company don't want the employees to go out all the time. We change our menus every 2 to 3 weeks, so it gives people like some freshness, and they can always order something different every time. And people could subscribe to it every single month as well. So we see this as a long-term game lah. You don't see it as a short-term gain. However, we do believe that catering will come back as well. It maybe not this year, but early next year lah.
Yeah. And hopefully these would, the current ready to eat will be able to sustain everybody lah.
Yep.
Yeah. So if it wasn't for the MCO, what would have been your plans in the future?
Our plans were to double down on catering because we were doing quite a lot. Catering is actually 70% of our main revenue. So we were looking to double that down, and we were actually extending our next service, the Picha weddings. So we got a lot of wedding enquiries at that time, but now all being cancelled to next year.
Yeah.
So that's why we quite... I think we're confident that catering will come back. It's just going to take time.
The catering that you guys were doing, what was the maximum number of people you could serve at one
We
time?
did up to 1,002 before.
Oh wow,
Mm,
that's really big.
Yeah, because all the chefs will be cooking.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
then they will be given all the same menu lah, obviously, right?
Some same, and then we provide varieties to customers as well.
Right. No, in terms of the cooking itself.
Yeah.
So you tell all your chefs, okay, you guys are gonna do.
Yeah, some are same,
Right,
some we
right.
differ. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Have you had a problem with so obviously the different cooks coming in and out different times?
Yeah.
Does your menu change a lot because of that?
We don't change so much, but instead we add new menus. Because people always want to try new stuff. Yeah, especially like the ready-to-eat meals. We're going to change our menu every 3 weeks because people wants to try new stuff.
Okay. So as the business grows, sounds like hopefully when the catering and all that comes back, and then obviously you will be able to help even more refugees, right?
Yeah.
So from that standpoint, what is your goal, your ideal?
Well, our goal is to impact 1,000 lives by 2025. We're right now not that big, but we've extended different services and subsidiaries to extend our impact. So during MCO, we also created 2 social enterprises. One is called Zucchini & Co. So what Zucchini & Co. does is to take on our strength on social media marketing and start helping other brands to rebrand or retell their stories. But at the same time, the social impact to that is to be able to create a holistic experience for underserved community to get into creatives. The second one is called Matlab Pantry. So Matlab Pantry, what it does is to bring a very different and authentic culinary experience for people. But at the same time, we want to train or create a training center or academy like sort of thing to create an experiential training for people who wants to get into the culinary world or the service line.
So a bit like a cooking school, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
but not so formal lah. We're not from formality anyway.
But for the refugees to come and teach lah.
Whether it's refugees or people from the local communities,
How would you expand it out beyond Klang Valley, where everybody is, if you like?
But there are things that can be replicated in different places, but not all. So example, like we went to Penang last year to do some research. We realized that the market might not be ready for such mini buffet delivery with a hint of Middle Eastern twist to it.
Penang, they still want their
We realized that people are still very attached to their local cuisine. So it seems like a very hard place to start off if we want to do that. So, but then if you think about it, like other services, example, maybe the social media one might work, so it will be depending on the demographic of their places to see what can we fit into it lah. But we've not thought through that far yet.
Right.
But we know that Klang Valley still has a lot of potential to grow.
Yeah, so even just Klang Valley alone, right? There's still many. What is your peak number of orders before MCO
well, we did. I can't totally iterate how many orders, but December was the highest. Always Christmas. Every year it doubles. So last year it doubled, and then January and February. Well, of course it dropped. February was picking it up, and then MCO happened, and then everything got cancelled.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how do you guys operate? You said that you just came from Shalam, did you say?
Jalan Ipoh.
Oh, Jalan Ipoh, sorry.
Yeah.
So what's at Jalan Ipoh?
So Jalan Ipoh is our office. So what we do is a lot of ideation or operations that are happening there. Our research and development. So we got a small kitchen there. We try out new food. We experiment new food. We have a lot of social media photo shoots are being done there. So nothing to do with refugees coming into the office because they work from home, and it's quite difficult for them to be traveling up and down because logistics is going to be expensive, and for them and most of them are mothers. They have to take care of their kids. So it's better they stay home, and usually either their husband goes out to find and source ingredients, or sometimes a single mother will do it themselves. But they usually cook from home, so there's not much of a hassle here and there.
Okay. And we don't have any. Obviously, you don't have any issues with the authorities and all that, like, in terms of the refugees.
For now,
money.
no.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah,
That's
because
good.
they all do it at home.
Right. So, so it sounds like yourself. Yeah, you have, even from university, you were helping out, right? And then even now, the future also sounds like, okay, how do you grow your operations to help more and more, right? Tell me a little bit more about yourself. So where are you from, and what's behind the drive to do this?
Well, I grew up in KL. I've been a very rebellious kid since I'm young.
Which school were you from?
I went all into Chinese school.
Okay.
Like I was in Kai Chi in Segambut when I was primary, and then I went into the Chonghua Independent High School, and then I went into UCSI University. So everything, I've lived a very, I must say, a comfortable life. My parents are business parents themselves.
Right.
So I grew up, doing administrative stuff for them.
Okay. What business were they in?
They were a trading business, and then it became like door manufacturing.
Okay.
So a lot of like picking up calls, creating invoices and
Right.
receipts for them, moving stuff, organizing stuff. So from there, I picked up a bit about business, and I started doing a bit like selling cookies when I was young.
Okay.
And then I also organized like a tuition center before. So a bit of like business aspect kind of activities that I was doing. But I went into music since at 15 years old because I love it. And then I
singing, is it? So you love
so I majored in guitar.
Okay.
So when I went into the university, I think around 20 years
This
old.
is the rebel rocker girl with the guitar.
Yeah, a bit lah. But when I went to university, I was studying jazz, so it's a bit very different.
Yeah.
And then I met a bunch of people in choir as well. That's where I started loving the whole setup as well. So that's where I also learned how to do conducting a bit, and I
Okay.
started teaching the kids what I know. So that's how I started my journey into music and social entrepreneurship.
So it sounds like working in a corporate job somewhere was never part of your mind, right?
No, my dream was to play around the world. That's all.
Be the rock star.
Yeah.
Or music anyways.
Yeah, music. Yeah.
So it sounds like it's fairly obvious because of your exposure to your parents' business and helping out, right? So organizing things and running businesses was a natural thing to do. I wasn't too scared of it.
It's something that they taught us a bit since I'm young.
Then as you went out from uni and you started doing Picha, the music part of it, so what's happened to that now? Is this
I
still a hidden...
Yeah, I started working in a studio after I graduate. I worked, in fact, I was part of the Ola Bola music production.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, the production was just 2-person anyway. So it's
But
me
still?
and my boss.
But it's Ola Bola, man.
Yeah. It was a very, very great experience. From there, I've learned so much, and I love movie soundtracks. Since then, I've been trying to work in different movies behind the scenes. But I was also performing, but at the same time, Picha was happening as well, and Picha happened faster than my music career.
Okay.
And that's where I had to choose whether should I grow Picha or choose music, because you can't do two things at the same time if you are not expert in both of these things.
Right.
And so I chose Picha because I saw lives being changed immediately in few months' time. And so that's where I told myself, okay, let's put music aside for a while. I still touch them once in a while, but let's just grow Picha. So the first year was myself and my two other co-founders. We don't have a CEO at the time. We always make decisions together until end of 2016. We thought that it's time for a CEO to step up, and I just took on the baton and I say, okay, let's just try. The first 2 years was tough because as a new CEO and have not gone into corporate, and you don't even know what a CEO do.
Yeah.
I had to learn a lot, learn from mentors, read a lot of books, and then the third year you get a hang of it, and you start to lead a team, and you start to need to discipline yourself and more consistent when you say things and when you do things. So those are the things that I've learned along the way.
So what about your other two buddies? They are still with Picha with you?
Yeah.
Okay. And together, you guys still form like the heart of the PichaEats.
Yeah.
Right.
We know that if one of us were to leave the partnership, Picha won't happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to lead to that because right now, the passion is with the three of you.
Yeah.
Right. As this thing starts growing,
Yeah.
it depends obviously on you and on your two other friends, right?
Yeah, of course.
So how do you plan to transition that vision, your vision of Picha to the organization Picha?
Understand. So right now, I mean, when we started to hire people in 2017, we were such a failure. We hired 6 people and they left at the same time.
What were they hired for?
For like operations, for marketing, for different positions, and it didn't work out. We learned like a lot how to manage people.
What happened? Give me the juicy details, man.
No, I guess we weren't really good leaders at that time. We didn't know how to create a good culture, and we didn't have a set of values. So we sat down, we thought through how can we put this together. We read books, we get advisors from our mentors, started working on being consistent, started working on building the values and culture of the team, being transparent, learning along the way lah. Then this last year we started hiring more, and then we started to learn how to manage a team better, and then we do a lot of one-to-ones with the team, team meetings every single week, which I came to a surprise that a lot of companies don't do team meetings weekly, and but for us we do it weekly, and always communicating concise, simple message to the team so that they understand clearly what we want, and then we started empowering leaders. We started empowering them to say, okay, you make the decision, you fail, it's fine. No one is going to pinpoint you. Picha is built out of a lot of failures, so you fail, no one is going to like shoot you down. So it gives them a lot of leadership and ownership to take on certain projects, and that's where they started. You can see that they grow out of that vision. They do more than you need to tell them. Yeah, so that's how we learn lah.
Did you ever find out why the 6 people left?
Like I say, we weren't consistent with what we say and do, and probably at the hiring stage we didn't even see properly. We just hire whoever wants to come in. We didn't do our interview process properly, or it didn't match with their expectations as well. So all these reasons, I guess.
Okay, cool. So now that we've got ready to eat meals, hopefully that grows.
Yeah.
And then hopefully when the catering business comes back. Now talk a little bit more about these 2 other things that you started, right? So you were saying, okay, you wanted to do the school.
Yeah.
The names are so funky. What was it again?
Zucchini and Co. and Matlab Pantry.
Okay, Zucchini and Co.
Yeah.
What is that again?
So
where do you come up with these names? It's a cool name.
So the name came from because we have a menu called the grilled veggie, and the grilled veggie is so boring. So someone just said, "Oh, why not we call them Zucchini and Co? The grilled zucchini and with other vegetables, so they're a company." Or okay. Then we thought, okay, if we were to, it's creative. So we thought if we were to create a creative company, it has to be named Zucchini and Co.
Cool,
So during MCO, because catering is not happening, it means that some of our team members are a bit free. So we gave them the power to go and innovate and find ways to make this happen. And so they created a company that helps use social media marketing to help people to rebrand and retell their business angle. Because during MCO, a lot of people change their product, change their angle. So it's a way that we could help them to retell their stories. So So we started doing that, and we've
as
acquired
a consulting company, as a design company.
consulting or content creating company.
Okay.
Yeah. So we started doing that, and we acquired our first 10 customers in less than 2 months.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was. I mean, some of them based on networks, and some of them based on leads that we've created. So they've been helping them to rebrand, redesign their collaterals, manage social media. But all this, we are trying to see after MCO being lifted, we want to work with the underserved community to get them in to learn about creatives, or to build a holistic experience where they use creatives to understand disciplinary, understand being resourceful. That's how we started at the first place, that using music to teach, disciplinary and being resourceful and teamwork. That's how we started. And so why can't creatives do it? So we want to do that.
So it's pretty much what Picha itself had to go through during MCO, right? To start coming out with a new product and new branding. So you use that same team who did it for Picha to now just teach, or not teach, but to consult for others.
Yeah.
That's very clever. Is that, do you see a lot of, well, you got 10 already, you said at the start. Do you see potential for that business?
Yeah, we do see people needing this. We realize a lot of, especially startups that are 5 to 10 people who don't have marketing expertise. It's actually a very cheap way for them to acquire or using us, because we plan it in a way where we are your marketing team, and you just tell us what you need, and this is the money. So a lot of people can't afford big agencies. They will go to us.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your typical rates that you charge people?
So I think 1,500 ringgit for 12 posts.
Okay.
Or something like that, which 12
To be honest,
posts,
I don't know is that cheap,
yeah,
is that expensive?
I know other people charging at 2,500 to 3,000.
Okay.
So we're trying to make it scalable in a way.
Okay.
And try to see how we can use technology to address certain things.
Okay. So what's going to happen if that business grows really well? And obviously your same staff is also supporting Picha, right? That's a nice problem to have. But what do you think you would do?
So what we try to do is we get the marketing team to focus on it. And then it means that when it grows, we are paying Zucchini & Co. to be doing our marketing.
Yeah, you be a customer.
Yeah, so that way they can grow and they can hire their own people as well.
Okay. And make one of them a CEO.
Yeah, correct. That's where you start empowering them.
But still within the Picha empire.
Correct. Yeah.
And for the other one?
Matlab Pantry. So
Matlab, isn't crazy?
Matlab.
Okay.
So the chefs call themselves scientists, where they try to come up with different food. So that's one very, very nice one. Maybe you want to order. It's called Pulut Hitam Creme Brulee. So it's really
creme brulee, but pulut hitam.
Pulut hitam inside. Really very nice. Yeah. Once you the first bite you eat, then you will continue eating.
Right.
Like non-stop. If you don't like sweet, this is not too sweet, but really, really very enticing.
Okay.
So we try to come up with things that mash up with local ingredients and the foreign ingredients to things like Pulut Hitam Creme Brulee. Creme Brulee is a Western French thing.
Yeah.
And then you have Pulut Hitam that is very local. So really...
Pulut Hitam as in you blend the Pulut Hitam to become the texture of creme brulee, or still...
No, it's still Pulut Hitam inside.
Oh.
Yeah, and then the creme brulee on top. And then you torch it, right? So it's it's just from the very solid, solid to soft surface, to soft inside. So we try to bring the experience to people and also educate people about
food. When you say bring the experience to people, what do you mean?
So we do deliveries as well. People can order online. And then we want to see how we can use this to empower communities as well, to get people to get into culinary, because a lot of people might not have that opportunity to learn how to do cooking. And so Matlab has these skills. As much as Matlab does innovation, they will have to come back to the roots of empowering communities.
So let's take this creme brulee pulut hitam, right? Okay, so the Matlab chefs came up with this.
Yes.
So how does that then translate into somebody getting into the culinary skills?
So that's why I say we want to run a small academy or small training center, so that we can get people to they get their basics trained first, and then slowly get them to experiment with food, and then get them into working with the chefs in Matlab Pantry, so that they are able to experiment and also get into practice as well, because a lot of them learn the theory, they don't have place to practice it. So this is a place where you practice it, and when you practice that, you can also use those skills to come into Picha and other sectors to practice what you learn, and hopefully at the end of the training they'll be able to find other jobs outside, hotels who wants to hire, or restaurants, or else they can continue working with us.
So there's two customers in a way. One are the refugees themselves, who you may want to get onto the program, because let's say they don't know how to cook, right? But they want to work for Picha, so they get trained. Some are, so the other group of customers are just normal Malaysians who who are out of school, don't want to study,
exactly,
right? And then I guess learn how to cook with you guys, and then could even be one of your cooks. And how far has this Matlab's gone?
Matlab started during MCO as well. We started experimenting a lot of food. In terms of the impact side, we already started recruiting people, and training will start soon. But we're trying to connect with more communities to see if this is something that they would appreciate, because you can't create something that the community don't need it anyway. Don't need it anyway. So we're trying to see if this one fits them as well.
But how do you do that? How do you go out there and find?
Well, we do have organizations, networks. Through networks, basically.
And then find out what they need.
And
you say, hey, here's a capability. Here's the training you want to do. Would you join or not?
Or get them to test it out, whether the training is suitable. What do we need to tweak? It's a work in progress.
Okay, cool. Logistically, where would you have this kitchen? In your place in Jalan Ipoh?
Yeah.
Okay.
But we're also looking to now a lot of co-working kitchens.
Okay.
Yeah, so
what do they call it? Black kitchen? No.
They call it
dark kitchen.
Cloud kitchens.
Cloud kitchens.
Yeah. So we can rent the space for 1-2 hours, which is not very.
Which is even better for you guys as you're testing it,
cost,
right?
Cost effective.
True. Wow, cool. Okay. So it's just amazing to see your passion to just keep growing, right? And luckily things are going well, right?
We're very, very fortunate, I must say, for this MCO. Very, very fortunate.
Yeah, in fact, the MCO has pushed you to look at other things, right? Otherwise, there would be no Matlab kitchens and.
Yeah, I mean, when we went to Stanford in 2018, the one
part of magic.
The one big takeaway is to turn problems into opportunity. So that's what we've been holding on to throughout the whole MCO.
Okay, cool. So anyway, thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Is there anything else that you would like to share out there in terms of your plans and the future that you guys?
I guess I've shared most of them. We're also trying to work out different forums and webinars with university students to actually let them be aware of what's happening globally. So we have I host forums like environmental talks and food wastage or humanitarian talks, just to get the university students to be aware of what's happening and whether they can get into initiatives or movements that will aid such situations.
Actually, another question I have is, so for people out there who can cook, how do they get involved with PichaEats?
Just drop us a message on any platforms. We do have a website as well, just for recruiting chefs, so they can just find it on our website as well.
What if somebody doesn't want to do full time? Can they just do part time with you guys?
But they have to still go through the same training
Okay. So what's this training that you do?
They will have to understand the kitchen hygiene basics and the different kitchen skills.
Right.
And then they still have to go through the market tests, because we want to make sure that the food that goes out is consistent. And it's something that is acceptable by the Malaysians as well.
I noticed a lot of the food is all the savory dishes. Do you do desserts as well?
Yeah, we do.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah. So we have things like basbousa coconut cake. It's a coconut cake. Syrians make them with syrup. And then we also have like baklava. Baklava is very not
The pastry,
common.
yeah.
And then we also have like brownies and lemon poppy seed. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay.
Mm.
I know another question I wanted to ask.
Yes.
From a pricing standpoint,
Yeah.
right? I think initially when I ordered, I looked at this. Oh, seems a little bit expensive, right? But then because I know what it's for in terms of Picha project at that time, so hey, then it's fine, right? Let's just do that.
I understand.
Is that still what you find in terms of your customers? That hey, they will forgive a little bit more of the pricing. Because it's going to give back to the refugees?
I think the pricing we tried to work around. I mean, when we started, yes, it's a bit at the high side. So we tried to work around as much as we can for the past 2 years to be accommodative to what Malaysians pay. And then if like you order a mini buffet of usually it's between 30 to 35 ringgit per pax, it comes with 7 to 8 varieties. So it's like you going out to a restaurant to eat already, but it's delivered to you. And then we have to a lot of them had to understand the ingredients used in the food. Because the ingredients used by Middle Easterns are very expensive because they're imported.
Right. It's not local, right?
Yeah, it's
That's
not local. We try to find local substitutes sometimes, but it won't be the same taste. That authenticity is not there. So that's the price where you're paying in. And then right now, we also come up like with the ready-to-eat meals and things. It's between 18 to 20 bucks with very, very rich flavors. Those flavors it's not something you can find anywhere. And then we do have meal boxes as low as between I think $8 to $13 as well.
Per box, yeah.
But those are usually for corporates lah.
Okay. Actually, I forgot to ask for the ready-to-eat meals for the people who buy. It has to be in freezer, or you can just put it in the chiller in the fridge.
So 4 days in chiller, more than 4 days in freezer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right lah.
Thank you.
Cool. No, definitely we'll talk a little bit. I'll introduce you to Escape, and then we'll probably figure something out. Obviously, a lot of places the tenants haven't come back yet.
Right? It's co-working, right?
Yeah, it's a co-working space. But then so we need to figure something out. So something we'll talk about lah.
Can.
Okay, man.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I've been such a fan.
Thank you, man.
Since you guys started, and I was like, oh, this PichaEats. And because you guys were like, I think I did hear from you guys when you were in during the Magic. It was the social entrepreneurs thing, right? What's his name?
Ihon.
Ihon.
Yeah.
Ihon Chan.
Yeah.
That's right. So it was when he was running it, lah.
Yeah, correct. He's
okay.
On our board of advisory.
Oh, he still is.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I thought he's gone back to Sarawak or something, right?
No. Here and there lah.
Oh, here and there lah. Okay. I haven't seen him for a bit. Because also when he left Magic, I kind of lost contact with him. Because I was sometimes one of the judges for their programs.
Okay.
But I definitely remember you guys. Then remember ordering lah. So that was quite interesting.
Nice.
Okay, come. Let me see my colleague.